Hello, everybody.
Radio
Hello.
silence. Hello. We're like,
We have the highest production values, clearly.
Well, you need to get in the center because I'm gonna have to keep it on you all the time because now it's like cut off. See, you got to center yourself. There you are.
Okay.
Guy keeps in. Hello, everybody.
We can either have the pre-roll or we can start well. Pick one. We can't do both.
That's right.
So I'm Guy Kawasaki. I am in, where am I? Santa Cruz, California. Jeff Sieh is in Don't Mess with Texas. And Peg Fitzpatrick is Live Free or Die in New Hampshire. So we are here to talk about this week's episode of Remarkable People, which is the remarkable Jon M. Chu. Jon M. Chu is a director, maybe the best or hottest director in America today. He directed Crazy Rich Asians, which if you want insights into my psyche, you should watch Crazy Rich Asians. And In the Heights, the adaptation of the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical. And first of all, if you haven't seen both of those, you should see both of those and then listen to the podcast, because the podcast gets so much more interesting and relevant when he tells you the inside story of the pool scene and In the Heights and Michelle Yeoh's role in Crazy Rich Asians. So anyway, yeah, I know this is probably Peg's favorite episode, right, Peg?
It is. It is. I'm obsessed with both of those movies.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait, we'll have to show you my little homage to.
What is it?
Oh, it's a green. It's an homage to Crazy Rich Asians, but you can't see how green it is on.
Oh.
My hand will be green soon because it's from Amazon.
Was that your husband's mother's ring
No.
that she gave to him to give to you once she accepted you?
Well, see, no, we're Irish, so they're just like, definitely get married, have lots of kids, go for it. So he's Irish. He's the third son. So like John said, he's the fifth child. He gets nothing. So yes, I did. I loved this episode so much. And also Jon Chu is my favorite director right now. I'm like,
who was it before?
Like blown away. Who was it before? Movie
Roman
director?
Polanski.
I don't even know if I had. No. Who was my favorite movie director? Probably I like Nancy. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking. She did
Reagan,
Holiday, and I gotta look it up. Blanking out. Nancy
Reagan.
Nope.
Drew.
Nobody knows who she is because she's always kind of behind the scenes, and women directors aren't as out there. What are you guys' favorite directors?
Yeah, good question.
I don't know.
Send us a comment. Who's your favorite director?
Yeah, well, we do have a we can do the icebreaker in a little bit, but yeah. So I don't know who my favorite director is.
Nancy Meyers. Sorry, I totally blanked on that, and I had to look it up. Nancy Meyers. She did The Intern with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. The Holiday. She did actually before I was a fan of her. She did like the Parent Trap, What Women Want. It's Complicated. So she does like female-centered things, but her sets are like next level. I love her stuff. She works with Diane Keaton a lot. She did Baby Boom. I love that movie too.
These are all date movies.
Yes, they are.
Yep, that would be what it's like watching a movie with me. It would be a romantic comedy or a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ellen says this. She goes, In the Heights is the best creativity on all levels, music, art, and story. Go. Peg would totally agree with you. Yeah.
I do agree.
So she is going to just adore this episode.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So our icebreaker question is this. How do you express your creativity?
Our podcast.
That's what I was going to ask.
I like to edit audio. That's how I express my crereativity. Like move the gaps around.
Yeah, as I call it a panic the night last night. So there's some people who are giving us their favorite directors. Tim Burton is from Dustin. Yes, that is.
Hey, Dustin.
That is a good one. Ronald Emmerich.
I also like Wes Anderson a lot.
Yep.
He's really cool.
So James Cameron, he's really
He makes one movie a decade, so.
But he's making the Avatar sequel, so that'll be cool. But So, but how do you guys express your creativity? Let us know in the comment. Guy Podcast. Peg, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. I usually do craft stuff, but honestly, I haven't in a while. I'll do like, I can knit, I can crochet a little bit, and I like to do things like that. I also just like to I do graphics. The graphic stuff that I do is some of the fun stuff that I do for work, creating things that way. I feel like I used to do more because I used to be in theater, I used to sing and do that kind of stuff. So I always have to have something for a creative outlet, but I do so much of it and I write, but it's hard because I do so much writing for work. Like I'm writing all the time. Sometimes even if I don't write anything, a blog post or anything in a book or anything, I'll still have like 20 or 30,000 words for the week because I use Grammarly and it tells you. Because I'm writing tweets and posts and it's a lot, meta descriptions and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it adds up. So sometimes my brain power is like fried at the end of the day.
So Guy, when you wrote your books, were those something you felt like that was a creative outlet, or is that like a job?
That's a good question. Somebody once used this metaphor. I don't know who. It was a great metaphor. So writing is like opening up a vein in your arm and pouring your words in blood onto the page. That's how I feel.
I think that was Ernest
That'd be
Hemingway.
work. Was that work?
It was?
Yeah,
but if he opened his veins, bourbon would come out.
Yeah. It starts as an idea. It turns into work the second you start on it. It's so much harder than people think to write a book.
Yeah. It turns into work the moment you get an advance.
Oh.
Yeah, then you probably get writer's block.
So we got some people who chimed in. Catherine says she paints, writes, dance are my favorite questions. Can she do them all at once, though? That is the question. So let's see. Anything else?
Jeff, what do you do?
So I've been starting to learn the piano again, and then I also carve. Like you've seen.
You carve?
I'm
like
wood carver.
Wood carving.
Yeah, I do eat, and I consume them as well. But no, I actually wood carve. Yeah.
Like, you take these blocks of woods and make bowls out of them on a lathe, or you're like with a little knife?
I've done it with the lathe. My dad has a lathe, and we actually turn pins. I don't know if I have one in here, but I have.
I have one.
Oh, do you have one of my carvings that I sent? Do you have it there? Yeah, or my pen? Oh,
yeah, your pen.
But yeah, so I've got some carvings that I usually make. I do a lot of Christmas stuff, so that's my thing.
Did you lose my address last year, or what?
Yeah. If you want some I don't want you to like give them away. They take a lot of time to do. So.
Well, what do you carve?
Well, just a second. Do you want me to get up and I'll do a Guy Kawasaki just a second? You guys talk amongst yourselves.
That's funny. That is funny. So now we can talk about Jeff because he's gone. Yeah. He also plays the banjo. I was waiting for him to say he plays the banjo.
He plays the banjo? Wow.
Yeah.
He's fulfilling every stereotype I have of Texas.
We're talking.
Okay, I can't hear anything.
Except for Jeff's from Kansas, so.
We had to carve to have our utensils to eat with. No. So, okay, here we go. So
chopsticks.
I make these little ornaments, like right here. Like this. Out of a block of wood. I've made, this is another one. So, So Guy isn't impressed because he's going, but I do like, just little fun stuff there,
Wow.
And then this is probably my newest one here.
Oh, I love that. That's adorable. A little gnome.
So yeah, that's what I think it's important for everybody to be creative in some way.
How long does it take to make a carving like that?
These I can probably do in 30 minutes, half an hour, because I start with
this.
Really?
Yeah.
But only because you've been doing them for a while?
Yeah, I don't have to use a pattern for these. I can take this block of wood and get it done. And so Kim Garst one time bought all my things. So yeah.
That's faster than 3D printing.
Yeah. Those are all 3D printed. I'm lying. I made them all that way.
What do you do for creativity? I load things into my 3D printer and watch them print.
Print.
It's that new show on Apple about or it's on Netflix about the music creation and how somebody said in one of the little quotes that the next great music composer will not do it on a a guitar or piano. They'll do it in the computer because people are playing their computers now. I mean, they're, with the MIDI and Logic and all the cool stuff. And so, yeah.
It's crazy.
So Dustin says he does creativity, graphic design, UX design, writing. He does everything. Look at him. Acting, singing, and dancing while he's graphic designing, probably.
Because I do none of that.
Dr. Carolyn says she does stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Very cool.
Let's invite her up. Have her tell us some jokes.
Yeah. Probably better than us. So anyway.
That would be scary. Stand-up comedy would be scary if you're bad.
Yeah. Improv's scary too. Those guys who do those improvs, I used to love Whose Line Is This Anyway. I think they're just so amazing. Tracy creates videos. So carving with the Dremel. Yeah. So
wow.
A lot of cool stuff going on.
I see stuff on TikTok and I'm like, maybe I need to do that. I was watching, there's these people who do like furniture flipping and they buy stuff like from Facebook Market and then they like redo it all. And I'm like, I think I need a palm sander. Which is like, why? I'm like, I could like he's like, you need more than a palm sander. I'm like, he's like, I don't think that's a good use of your time. I'm like, but it would be a creative outlet because I can't do that. I can do like decorative painting and I've done like trompe l'oeil and stuff. It's just been a while.
Can I just say that the point of us going live on video is to get people to listen to the podcast? So
yes.
Can we get back to Jon M. Chu?
Yes.
So
go for it.
Here it is. So here's the question: have you seen In the Heights or Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah, this is a quick poll. How many people have seen it or not seen it? I love my favorite scene there is where the mom is talking to the son about who he's bringing to the wedding. And she's at a Bible study group and she's on the phone with him. And she says to the group, just go on to Corinthians. I'll catch up. You had to be there, but it was so freaking funny.
Michelle Yeoh has great delivery. She's very,
she sure does.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot of great scenes in both of those.
So,
it was good. It was a great book. Crazy Rich Asians was a great book.
So Dr. Carolyn Brookfield says, my creative mantra channeled through Ken Jeong's voice, but you will die. So
I love it. He's so funny in Crazy Rich Asians. You know Nick Young? Hells yes.
He's just plain funny. He's just funny.
Yes.
Wait, which guy are we talking about?
He played the dad in Aquafina's dad. So the new rich people.
Yeah. Huh. That's what my house looks like.
So a lot of people are saying, I saw the Crazy Rich Asian and loved it. So Peg, and Dr. Carolyn Brookfield says read the book. Is the book better or the movie? Which one's better?
It's a great adaptation. So I liked both. They're separate works of art. I mean, the movie really, he's so great at details. That wedding scene in Crazy Rich Asians is like hands down one of the best weddings in a movie ever. And it instantly went into classics like the emerald ring is like popular. Like you'll see it pop up on like famous, rings to get people that they, like on Pinterest, and just the wedding itself was so just gorgeous. So I liked both of them. I have to say it's not something where I watched the movie and said they left this out, they left that out. It added a lot of cool stuff like the technology in that first scene when it's a little bit of a spoiler alert for the movie, but if you haven't seen it now, it's been out for a couple of years. When there's news travels so fast that they're in a restaurant in New York City and the mom at the Bible study, it bounces back on text messages, Facebook's posts. It's like within 5 minutes, the news all over the world that he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really great, that was just so smart adding that.
That's not unrealistic.
No, it's not.
So guys, since we're talking about creativity and, this movie, was there something that you got to ask Jon Chu about Crazy Rich Asians about creativity that you really found out in the podcast? Because, there's so much behind the scenes stuff that is in this podcast. That you asked him. Was there like a specific question that you made sure you were going to hit no matter what?
Well, when I found out, when we started talking about, I don't know how we got on this subject. We started talking about, our wives and kids and all that. So I asked him if he proposed to his wife using his mother's ring, i.e., just like in the movie. And he just kind of bust out laughing, and he said, no, he's like the third or fourth kid, so all the jewelry was gone by the time it came to him.
Right.
Yeah, he's the fifth kid.
Yeah.
I used to eat at his parents' restaurant in Los Altos. It's just a small world. And until I, did the background research, I had no idea that Jon M. Chu is the Chu of Chef Chu's in Los Altos. So if you're in the Bay Area or in Los Altos, you may have eaten at Chef Chu's. Well, that's his father's restaurant.
Mm. It's a great story that he talks about on the podcast on how he got started, when he was very young and he just kind of like made a home movie and figured out how to edit it together. And this is back in the day where there was nothing at home that you could do any of this with. And his dad kept talking to all the Silicon Valley people that were coming in saying, oh, my son's doing video editing. And the people were so generous that they got him software and tools that he needed that he never could have afforded. And you could just tell how much he really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. And it is such a big deal. Like, you think maybe you're just doing a little favor for someone, but like it literally changed his life and helped make his dream. And I loved that he said he talked all of his teachers into making videos instead of writing.
I told my son that.
His mom was like, you cheated. You're cheating the school. Yeah. But honestly, it probably takes way longer to edit a video.
Oh my God, yes.
So I got the same when he was telling that story. I was like, yes, because I somehow got into this thing where me and my best friend would be able to skip classes and take those old VHS, they were like heavy things, and go around and film stuff. I don't even think, and we were some grant that we got on, and we made these videos, and nothing ever happened with it. We just got out of class and got to film stuff. So it was crazy. Cool. So I want to bring up this from Dr. Caroline Brookfield. Just subscribed to the podcast and queued up the episode. Thank you. We love it when people do that, and we would love it if you guys would leave us a rating review. We saw some. We asked for this last week. We saw some come through, so they're trickling back in. But if you know of somebody who would like this episode, like they're a big fan of Crazy Rich Asians, or
if somebody wants to be an actor or actress, this is it, man. It doesn't get better than this.
Speaking of that, so I saw this great story about how they did a really big search to find the right guy to play Nick Young in Crazy Rich Asians, because it's like such an icon. He had to be like he had to be like Prince Harry, kind of like he had to be very good looking and pull off all of that. And they were doing all these Hollywood searches. And John said he kept coming up with like the same 10 actors. Like, it's just in Hollywood, the pool for Asian actors, they're just like, and he was like, no, I want to find somebody different. So he ended up finding Henry Golding, who had 0 acting experience. This was his first movie, which is crazy. Wow. And he, John heard about him from a friend of a friend. He was doing like hosting on some TV show. And then he checked out his Instagram. He went through his Instagram. He was like, he's so good looking. And so he literally, part of the reason he got hired was that John loved his Instagram. Can you believe that? And then he had to come in for testing and stuff, but he had hosting experience, but no acting experience. And then he went for a test, and the rest is history. But wow, can you imagine?
Well, let's
that
talk
being
about
your first movie.
Let's talk about how we got him on the podcast, because it was also from Instagram, and he was a super fan of Guy. He snuck out of school to go see him at Macworld or something like that. I mean, it was crazy. He had like old stacks of Guy's articles in the magazine that he kept around. Macworld. That's pretty cool.
I am the man.
He definitely is a fan.
Yeah, and you could tell too by the interview. So you guys, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you guys go to remarkablepeople.com and download it, listen to it, share it, subscribe to it, all the things. Let your friends know about it, because it really has some like behind the scenes stuff that he talks about, like how he was
swimming pool scene. Yeah,
the swimming pool scene, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's worth listening to. And then there's some really great questions, other ones about In the Heights that we'll talk about later. But here's our other question is, do you pay attention to Rotten Tomato scores? Like when you're picking out a movie, this was one that guy had, that do you go to Rotten Tomatoes before you decide to watch a movie? I don't.
Nope.
I look after the fact.
I don't. I sometimes I just want to see it. And if you want to go by just the promos, the advertisements for In the Heights and Crazy Rich Asians were two of the best. Like they were like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. Like the intro, they were so good.
Yeah.
You just definitely wanted to see it after you saw it. I'll put a link to them in there.
When I'm thinking of seeing an action movie, if it's rated above like 80, I don't go. It's got to be rated low for me to like the action movie. Because
so
I don't want plot. I don't want acting. I just want action.
Yeah.
Do you check the Amazon like when you're going on Netflix or anything, or do you look at all those reviews and ratings, or do you just choose?
You mean for books?
No, for movies. Like if you're on Netflix, if you're going to watch a movie, do you look at what it's rated?
I just go to the top 10 Netflix movies in the country right now, and
Dustin, tell us how you really feel. So
I don't, but Rich actually does. Rich will always look stuff up, and he's like, "Yeah, the critics didn't like it." And the last one was Luca, that Pixar movie that just came out, where it's set in Italy.
Luca.
And you liked it?
Yeah, we watched it.
It got really bad ratings, and I have to say the story had some holes, but the animation was wow.
Yeah, I anything Pixar does, I think is pretty. Usually a really good story. So I liked it. So that's why I don't listen to this stuff. And I'm kind of with Catherine here that she goes, never give someone else's perspective a chance. So if I'm like any of the action or comedies, I don't care. I'll go see it. Like I'll see every Marvel movie because I like that stuff. But if my wife wants me to watch it, I'll like, well, see, they, like this rom-com, it didn't do very well. Maybe we should watch, Terminator instead. I don't know. So.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
That's right. That's Predator. That's from Predator. Yeah. It's like I don't have time to bleed. That was just Jesse Ventura's line, actually. I don't have time to bleed. So that's that. Let's see. The next question is, what is your favorite movie of all time, Peg?
Oh man, I don't even know if I can say my favorite movie of all time. It's so hard to pick one. It's like, what's your favorite song? There's so many good songs.
Yeah, I can't pick
favorite movie. I mean, favorite movie musicals. In the Heights is definitely up there. West Side Story is one of my very favorites. So I'm hanging on needles and pins waiting for Steven Spielberg's West Side Story to come out. And I don't even know. I like romantic comedies. Obviously, Gone with the Wind was one of my favorites, but now it's not. It's bad. It's not a good movie to, has bad undertones. So I had to scratch that from my list.
What about Guy? What's your favorite? Oh, he's gone. Oh,
no. I'm here.
Oh, what's your favorite movie?
Probably Rambo 1.
Sylvester Stallone.
There we go. I can get behind that.
I saw that. I remember seeing that in the theater. That was some violent stuff.
Mine goes like through genres, like, my favorite comedy, some of the stuff. Yeah. I love all Mel Brooks stuff. I like, Three Amigos.
Part 1.
Christina says It's a Wonderful Life would be mine. Mm-hmm. That's a good. Yeah. See, that's my one. Would be a favorite Christmas movie, but I can't go like this is the best movie I ever saw. I just can't. I'm with you, Peg. I can't do it.
Right. It's hard.
So
yeah, because there's different things. Like sometimes, like Mamma Mia is a great pick-me-up movie. Like it's just positive. It's fun. The setting is great. It's hysterical. Meryl Streep is great. But then, if you're looking for like a serious one, there's too many different things.
So Rambo was good. I saw that comment.
Yeah, see, I brought that up for you. Yeah,
that's two of us. There you go.
So back to In the Heights, because I want to talk to about that, because there was a question that I thought was one of the best questions that I thought you asked. It was like, okay, you asked him, and it was kind of a tough question, I thought. It's like, okay, how can you, as an Asian man, direct In the Heights? And I thought that was really good, and I thought his answer was really good about that, because that was very that would be intimidating as a director, I would think, to shoot a movie like In the Heights. I don't know about the rest of you, but that would be intimidating.
Well, it's only Lin-Manuel Miranda you're competing with, in a sense, right? Duh.
Right. So
and then filming it in the neighborhood, and all the people were outside literally watching while you're portraying their neighborhood.
It's It's a tough thing. It would be like following Donald Trump as president. Hard act to follow.
We had to get one. So,
but I think that you can't lose the undertone of the racial casting in Crazy Rich Asians and in the Heights. Really, keeping with the ethnicities, which isn't seen. I don't know if you guys saw the Rita Moreno documentary that was out that Lynn actually worked on that too. She talked about how when she started out in Hollywood, she was the brown girl in everything. She was she was brown, every brown character. She was an Indian. She was, Chinese. She was Hispanic. She was just, if there was a brown person, they put her in. And even that was, and so to move that forward and then have something like Crazy Rich Asians where Jon insisted on, Asian casting, even at that, people got mad because Henry Golding is not 100% Asian, but you can't win, if you're 50% something, someone's going to complain about it.
So I don't want to give the answer because I think you guys need to go to remarkablepeople.com and listen to what Jon says about directing in the Heights. But one of the things that impressed me, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler because he goes in depth with it, but I was so impressed with him we talked about the swimming pool scene, but that he said it was freezing and they even tried heating it, but he couldn't, but that he got in the water with the actors and directed from them because he wanted to make sure that they knew that I kind of, being in there together. Right. I thought that raised when I heard that of him, like, okay, that guy, he's cool. I mean, doing that kind of thing, that's really, really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So
the social media for In the Heights was also amazing with all the different things they did. They worked with influencers on TikTok dances, and they actually had the choreographers create step-by-step videos so people could make their own In the Heights videos. There was a filter that came out that's hysterical that has part of the a scene between Usnavi and Vanessa, and the filter switches back between characters. You just put your head up and down, and it's the AI switches you from the boy to the girl to it's crazy. And they have a meme maker. If you go to intheheights.com, they have a meme maker where you can make your own memes. And I thought it's very tech savvy and cool how they're using social media.
And they went right into TikTok. I mean, there's tons of TikToks using the music and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Very cool. All right. So we did that one. So, are you guys, this is the thing. I hope, at least if you're where I'm from, that you're not doing this right now. But I do miss going to the theater. I really do.
I do too.
I
haven't gone for 2 years.
Really?
I haven't either.
What was the last movie you saw in the theater?
I don't know. The Birds. I don't know. I mean, it's been a while.
It's more than 2 years, Guy. I'll just tell you that.
Okay,
that's more than 2 years.
I have to say, I thought about going this weekend because, as you know, my secret boyfriend Ryan Reynolds had a new movie out, but I didn't go. I did.
Free Guy. It's like
Free Guy. Oh my God.
Free Guy. And I did do a pitch to try to get him on the podcast, but I was unsuccessful.
Who?
So if anybody
Ryan
knows,
Reynolds?
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds. Because this movie's called Free Guy, so I thought there was a good synergy there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I miss the theater. I think we did go out and we messed up when we thought everything was over, and they opened it up here. I did see Black Widow. I did.
Oh, I forgot you did go to the movies.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
I have not been to one.
Was it what?
Was it worth it?
Yeah, because there's nobody else there. I mean, it was. It was just.
Shayla went to go see that in the theater in Boston, and she was the only person in the theater.
Wow.
Somebody said Ghost. That's been a while.
Ghost was epic.
Yes. So, all right. So here's another question. Are there any movies that speak to you culturally?
Crazy Rich Asians, baby. That's my life theme.
So, but did you feel connected to that because all the people were Asian in it? Did you immediately notice that and that all the actors
I can relate to a little bit of every character in that movie.
That's funny.
I'm proud of my insipidness.
So, I thought this was really interesting. This comment by Sharon. She goes, when we were talking about favorite movies, she said Wizard of Oz. That was the first color movie shown in South American movie theaters.
African.
South African movie theater. Sorry.
America, Africa, same thing.
No. South African movie theater. So, but that's really cool. So I grew up in Kansas, so we had to watch that movie. That was like, it was drilled into us. Yes.
Oh, really?
So the black and white, yeah.
Huh.
Oz.
Hey, we said we would read some podcast reviews.
And we had like 5 new ones.
Yeah, so
we better read some.
Okay, let's go. You carry on, I'll find them.
So let's see some other comments. The Gods Must Be Crazy. That's a good movie too.
With the Coke bottle, right? That's the one the Coke bottle falls from the plane.
That won like an Oscar, didn't it? I think it won some awards. I don't know. I remember watching that too. So yeah. So another question is, did everyone get a boost to help with a passion? Like, has somebody helped you out to do something that you wanted to do with a passion? So I think I can go look back into mentors in my life that helped me do stuff. Guy was one of my first guests to have ever on a live show. I dropped water in my lap. We've told that story before. You got a comment?
Hey, taught me how to use social media.
Well, you helped me with my book, and then it was our book. So that was also awesome.
And I was in that book. I was actually in there with Baby Beard Jeff. I'm in that. There's a picture of me.
You were Baby Beard Jeff. That was your pirate name before you turned to to the manly Pinterest, and you were Baby Beard.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did have, let's see, Peterson 3018 said, love how down-to-earth Guy is, compassionate and deep-hearted questions to all of his truly remarkable guests. I made sure to only give him 4 stars so you know it's authentic. Also, mahalo
I don't get that part of it. Okay.
Guy's fine with 5 stars, so don't feel like you need to temper that. Let's see, Hully Gully Girl said, it's always inspirational. She gave 5 stars. Enjoyable and is totally worth time spent listening to Guy and his guests speak their remarkable thoughts and ideas. So grateful for Guy's generous sharing of his knowledge and tips to help me succeed. I learned how to connect more with others and enjoyed his recent show featuring Jeff Sieh and Peg Fitzpatrick on how to be of service to others. I'm looking forward to the next show. She even got our name right.
Wow.
She's very
she gets bonus points for that.
SEO optimization.
That's right.
Yeah. So Jonathan BT said it's a cornucopia of insight with 5 stars. When I'm looking for an idea or new book to read, I scope out this pod. Guy has a broad range of quests, but he meant guests. But quests would be fun.
Quests could work too, yeah.
Let's add some quests. Guy has a broad range of guests, and many wouldn't seek out on my own. As a result, I'm introduced to new ideas and concepts through this podcast, which is awesome. Highly recommend. If there's something for everyone in the back catalog, if you can't find your something, probably coming soon, so stay tuned. Also, connect with Peg. Hey, good idea, Jonathan JT. And her sidekick. So apparently you guys
I'm
are
just
my
the
sidekick.
I'm going to bring up a Lord Third sidekick.
Guy is also a sidekick. You're both my sidekick. On their weekly live show, try to stump Guy with your Q&A. If you ask him a good question, he'll pause and think before answering. And you can almost hear the gears turning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so
we got a lot of... Go ahead.
Jeff is like Tattoo in Fantasy Island. Yes, zip plane.
Exactly, that would be me.
And I'm Ricardo Montalban.
but we would love for you guys to go to your favorite. Well, Apple probably go to Apple. There's a link to it at Remarkable People. Go and check that out and give us a rating and review. We'd love to read it on screen for during our live show. But we would love for those. We love hearing from people. Who watch the show. But I tell you what, the person who said that there's so many, good ideas he gets from listening to the show. My reading has gone up. All these people we get on the show. I've read so many books now that I've heard them. It started, I think, with the Humor Seriously. I really like that book a lot. With Bagladonis
Jennifer Walker.
And they were really good. So I even talked to them on Clubhouse one time. But they're in all these books and like. What's the one, Peg, we talked about this morning that is coming up? Oh,
Lena Wen?
Funt.
No.
Oh, Juliet Funt?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. So let's see here. we talked about mentors. So Christina says, so many people have helped me with my book Sway and my career and more. It takes a village. So I totally agree. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. Catherine says there should be a shop of mentors so people without one can find one. Yeah, it's
LinkedIn.
It's hard.
You're there. No,
but
it
finding,
is hard
but it is. I get it.
It's
It's hard to find.
Yeah,
it's hard to find good mentors. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and Christina, we lit a fire. Crap, I need to go do a review. I'll do that today. I love how prepared Guy is with his guests, and the guests are amazing. Yes, that's awesome.
Thank you. If you knew how much work it took, wow. People think podcasting is just turning on the record button. Man, oh man. OMG.
Yeah. So any more questions? I think we went through them all. We asked, did anybody get a boost? Yeah, we talked about that. So let's see. Was there any other ones that I skipped? I think that's about it.
Definitely go listen to this podcast though. If you like movies, who doesn't like movies, but if you're like in any creative field, John just gives great advice. Guys' questions of course are great, and it's a really great conversation. If you like Max, if you like movies, if you like listening to Guy laugh, that's also good.
Yeah. He just seemed he seemed down to earth. There's some of those people who are like, you're like, I could go get a beer with this guy, kind of a thing. That's what he felt like. He didn't feel like what you would think a Hollywood director would be like. And he's relatively young, isn't he?
You have to listen to his Steve Jobs story. Do not tell, but go listen to him.
Yeah,
this is a good story.
It's funny. It's very funny. And
I hadn't heard that before.
41. He's like 41. Yeah. So that is young. I mean, the budgets for the movies that he does. So
yeah, I thought I heard all of Guy's Steve Jobs stories, but I hadn't heard this one.
That was a new one. Yeah, I never heard that story.
I was talking about John Chu's Steve Jobs story. That's hysterical.
Yeah, that one's funny too.
Oh, you mean my Steve Jobs story?
Yeah. I hadn't heard that one before.
Oh.
Because you had to swap. That was the deal. You guys had to tell each other's stories.
Right.
So yeah.
That's right. Cost me $250 million, that story.
So use an enchantment book as study material.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Good taste.
And Sandy goes, I see the work you put into your podcast. Thanks for complete work.
Thank you. Nice. Put that in a review.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yes, appreciate it. And in the comments, while we still have a little bit of time, I would love it to know where you guys consume your podcasts. Do that you listen to them on Apple? Do you use a different app like Overcast? Do you go to and listen to it on the website while you're working? What's the way that you guys listen to Remarkable People? And if you haven't listened to Remarkable People, make sure you guys go to remarkablepeople.com and subscribe to it so you get it every time there's a fresh new episode on Wednesday mornings. But I would love to know where you guys consume it, because it's really interesting. I'm seeing from the reports that Spotify is getting neck and neck with Apple in some of the downloads of things. So I would love it to know where you guys consume your podcast from. So if you would drop those in the comments, I would love to know that answer. So let's see here. See? Spotify. Yeah. Christina says Spotify and direct to the website. Very, very cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Huh.
So Remarkable People.
Apple's trying to just control everything, right? So there's like a lot of resistance to that, as Dave Weiner's episode discussed.
Mm-hmm. Audible. People are consuming it Audible. And Sandy goes, give me a link. I will also podcast at remarkablepeople.com is where you will find, remarkablepeople.com is where you will find the podcast. And there's links to subscribe to your favorite player right inside.
And don't forget the transcript. My God, we work so hard on the transcripts.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're somebody who likes to read things, or if you're looking for a specific quote or something that they talked about, it's easy to just scroll down and look through.
Or you're deaf.
And find it. Or if you are hard of hearing, that is also helpful. Or some people who are learning English. We have heard from people that they listen to podcasts and read the transcripts to help improve their English. So, which I think is cool. That's what a cool way to learn.
Very cool. All right. Anything else, Guy, before we sign off?
No, I am. I lost my GoPro Hero 9, so I'm in depression right now. Somebody knocked it off my surfboard. Yeah.
So what do you do with all the footage? Do you really record because you surf every day? Do download?
I don't record every day, especially when I lose it. But when it gets big and hairy, I don't take it because that's just like one more thing to injure you. So you only do it when it's small and easy and your friends are going. But then I lost it. In the same place, I must have lost 2-3 Apple Watches and 2 or 3 GoPros. Someday.
What if you were one of your kids? What would you say to one of your kids if they had lost 3 GoPros and 3 Apple Watches?
I would say, you're pushing the edge. I love your attitude.
There's some fish down there going, man, I love all this stuff. It's amazing.
And wow, this guy's a lousy surfer. Why is he videoing himself?
So this is a good question from we have somebody say, when do you guys go live on LinkedIn? I loved it. It's my first time. So we go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Right? Did I say that right? See, I did math live. That's the first, folks, right there.
7 a.m. Hawaii.
Yeah. So with that, I guess we will see you guys next time. Do not forget about remarkablepeople.com. Go sign up there and give us a rating review.
Yeah, you don't want to miss next week. We have one of the original MTV VJs on, who is, I'm sure, going to be a great.
It's a good one. I just finished editing that one. He's like the Podfather.
Yep. Podfather.
He has a great podcasting voice too.
He does. Yeah. So,
and he's in Texas.
That's right. He's in Austin. He moved to Austin a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, awesome. All right, Guy, you want to have the final word?
No, the final word is have a good week. Get vaccinated. Wear a mask. And
all right. See you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.